Today, Democrats' latest lawsuit has them falling hook, line, and sinker for the trap, and the Trump card is coming next. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, I start off each one of these episodes by saying thank you so much to each and every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible. So thank you so much for coming here and clicking that button. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, jumping right into the Q board, let's look at what has been posted today, April 20th. We're looking at the first one. Q says, this is where we left off here, talking about watching California, and we'll get into how that may be relevant very shortly here. But answer question regarding Seth Rich. Seth Rich, June, Julian Assange. Now, and it gives a link to this article. Coincidence Q. Now, what is the article that's being linked to? Well, first of all, it is this article right here, where the Democratic Party has filed a lawsuit against Russians and WikiLeaks, and I believe even Roger Stone's in it. This is incredible. They've fallen hook, line, and sinker for the trap that was set. And we're going to get into exactly what that trap is here in a minute. But reading through this, you kind of get an idea of what is being discussed here. And you obviously have an incredible amount of information being put forth in this lawsuit, where they're going to have, but they don't have any substantive evidence to prove of a conspiracy theory between Russia and anyone related to the Trump campaign, other than these frivolous outside accusations that have no evidentiary backing. Now, that's what we're dealing with here, and that's what Q's pointing us to in reference to what did we just go over? In the last few posts, we actually talk about Seth Rich and what his connection is, and we'll go back and we'll look at exactly what we talked about. So right here it says, an AN0N post in the Q&A of the last session we went over, when will we find out about Seth Rich in Las Vegas? Q responds, Seth Rich is connected to the DNC, MS-13, Julian Assange. Why did the Democrats push legal representation on his family? June, estimated time of arrival, Q. So that's what Q's referencing when we look back. And what is this talking about with the Democrats? They actually were the ones behind getting the Riches to actually file suit against Fox News, among others, for being, quote, liable for spreading a conspiracy theory. Now, this is the most asinine lawsuit I've ever heard of in my life, especially given the fact that, you know, I feel terrible for these poor people whose child was killed by murderous thugs. And in my opinion, I believe that the story is basically this. Seth Rich, this is my opinion. This is merely giving you my opinion. It's speculative. There's no evidence to back it up as of today. But it's quite simple. Seth Rich worked at the DNC. Seth Rich was the one who gave Julian Assange the emails because he was exposing the corruption inside WikiLeaks emails, where you have the pay-for-play, the Clinton Foundation cronies, the crony capitalism, the Uranium One deal, John Podesta and his pedo stuff, the handkerchief code words, all that stuff was exposed by Seth Rich. And then the Democratic Party, in my opinion, allegedly with probably being set up by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, put out a hit using their thug criminal group, the MS-13 cartel, to go murder Seth Rich in the middle of the night by shooting him 4 times in an apparent robbery where they didn't steal anything or take anything from Seth Rich. That's the long and short of it. Now, then they get money probably from the DNC, these family members who've obviously been through a lot, and then they go and turn around and try to sue Fox for purportedly spreading some kind of quote-unquote conspiracy theories. But what is that really doing? It's basically just trying to silence the truth behind what actually happened to Seth Rich, obviously. And I pray for these people, and I feel terrible that their son lost his life, but he was serving a very noble cause. If it makes it any better, that he gave his life for something that he shouldn't have had to have given his life for, but the fact that he did, and that he is going to go down in history as a hero. He's going to go down as an American hero for exposing what this all was. And only time will tell, and history will tell us what the actual truth is. But this is just my opinion, that he's going to go down as a very, very famous person for spreading the truth and doing what is right. Now, we're going to get right back into the latest Q post here, where it says Seth Rich and Julian Assange, they were going to, Q gave us this ETA of June as being when we're going to start getting into more of the Seth Rich stuff and the Julian Assange connection, and we're going to be having actual provable evidence. Now, if you go back to this article that they linked, watching this report, you hear actually excuse me, Newt Gingrich actually discussing the fact that the emails weren't hacked necessarily. He says very clearly in this interview, if you watch the little clip, and I'll play it right now, but he says very clearly that the documents, the files that were taken, could have been just put on a jump drive and walked right out of the building, and it may have never ever been internet hacking whatsoever. It was somebody who was inside, obviously giving a wink and a nod at the people who understand what the truth is, in my opinion, which is that Seth Rich was the one who put it onto a jump drive, and there's actually file upload documented evidence that shows the files were uploaded at 6 times the relative highest speed of the internet available at that time, meaning it had to have been a jump drive. But we'll listen to Newt say that really quick here.
What do you make of, because in some observer circles, they're saying, well, what is it with the other side of the political aisle in this sense from you, that you had Hillary Clinton and a secret server, and you've got the DNC not wanting to hand over its servers, even though it was hacked, they were hacked by Russia.
Well, we don't know if they were hacked by Russia or not.
They were hacked.
They were hacked, or somebody walked out with it, and it didn't get hacked. Somebody just took it, put it on a file, and walked out. We don't know.
So there you have it. He basically lays it out exactly what we would talk about there, to say it was basically Seth Rich putting it directly onto a jump drive and walking right out. There was no hack. There was no Russian conspiracy to take the information, and they had little to do with anything regarding Julian Assange, Seth Rich, and WikiLeaks leaking the emails. Now let's focus more on what's inside the emails. I hate that the news likes to just talk about these emails frivolously when there's nobody inside the Department of Justice or the FBI who seems to be taking the evidence found in these WikiLeaks emails too seriously as far as finding people for conviction, although that is seeming to change as we go forward. But let's just jump right into the next Q post. So that was referring to this one, answering all of this, where, this was a direct response to what is going to be leaked in June. They came out and they put out this lawsuit ahead. Now, the next one, it says, 2 ANONs posting here. One says bait, referring to this last post here. And the other says amazing. They're literally opening the door for you to drop all the information as evidence in a court of law. Where we go one, we go all. And Q responds first to the bait, saying they fall for it every single time. And then secondly, he responds to this ANON's post saying, how do you legally? And what he's talking about here is, if we scroll down to what is in the previous video that we cover this in this last time, it says, Q here is responding to his own post talking about how Rudy Giuliani had joined the legal team of Trump, discussing the insurance file held by Anthony Weiner on his laptop, which actually draws connections to the missing emails from the Hillary Clinton campaign, where she acid watched and bleach bitted the information out of existence, and that there were copies of these documents or emails that exist. Now it's going to be directly put into Mueller's court when Rudy Giuliani has to say, I have direct knowledge of these files existing through through Rudy Giuliani's NYPD sources. And then Q responds saying, we have everything. How can we use what we know? How do you legally inject, make public, use as evidence? What are you witnessing unfold? Trust the plan, Q. Well, I mean, that's basically exactly what's happening here. They took the bait. the Democrats, the idiots that they are, and they filed this lawsuit, this frivolous lawsuit. But what they don't realize is that there's going to be evidence that's going to be admitted to court that's going to directly implicate certain members of the Democratic Party and others in criminal activities related to hiding the leaking of classified information and other crimes against the country as a whole that would break all types of statutory codes. Now, that's what Q is saying. I mean, this is incredibly clever. And then even the next post, an AN0N post, trap card played. Nice work, Q. And Q responds to that by saying, Trump card coming, Q. So what is the Trump card going to be? I'm very, very excited to be able to be around when that drops. I'll definitely have that first reported as soon as it gets put out there. But I'd love to hear your speculation, your idea, any thoughts that you guys have about what may or may not be being referenced to in this reference to the upcoming Trump card being played. Now, it could be a lot of different things that are related to what's been going on with obviously the Inspector General's the Inspector General at the Department of Justice has just referred Andrew McCabe to the U.S. Attorney for criminal investigation for leaking classified information and other crimes against the government and the American people. Also, at the same time, you have what's going on with Comey basically indicting himself by getting into this whole classified information that he's writing into his memos. And even if Q is telling us that these memos are faked, then what I think we're actually getting at here and what that refers to, and if you guys want to get a really good review, go watch my last video here talking about different things that we covered. Is HRC dark web video fake? You guys can watch that, and you guys will be really brought up to speed on where we're at right now. And also go back and watch all the rest of my videos if you guys want to get a good idea of where we've been over the last few days, weeks, months, however you want to look at it. But what they're talking about here is Comey's been implicating himself that he's the one who's leaked all this information. And I think that the reference might be now that the fake memos were constructed by Loretta Lynch and others at the Supreme Court. Maybe Ruth Bader Ginsburg helped construct them so that they will draw this attention, but then ultimately prove no crime of leaking because there is no classified information necessarily contained within them. And then they're also going to fight to say that it's legal. It's his legal right to have personal documents. But I mean, they've already blown that president out of the water thinking about what's happened to Michael Cohen, the president's attorney, and their raiding of his office and stealing of all of Trump's papers. Now, where it comes out that Andrew McCabe, just after being put under this spotlight, you have Rod Rosenstein coming forward and saying that Trump is not under investigation for what's going on with Michael Cohen, which this is all just a big circus. And everybody's got to be able to see and look through that and peel back the layers and look beneath the surface, because what's actually going on is actually quite incredible in this time that we live in, where you have the Comey, McCabe, Rosenstein, Mueller cabal, all these top officials in the Department of Justice and the FBI who are all criminally, in my opinion, guilty, but allegedly guilty of working with one another in order to thwart a duly elected president and to frame him in this Russia hoax, which is just the biggest nothing burger ever. And now it's coming out today that there are reports that CNN was part of one of the biggest pushers of getting Comey to leak to go forward with the FISA warrants based on the Christopher Steele dossier and to get the story out there against Trump. This is crazy, okay? I mean, and I'll interject my own opinion where I see fit here. So you guys let me know what you think, because if you can read through all this and you can find all the information for yourself, it's all readily available. But you have everything going on at a certain pace that's just incredible, and we'll continue to see what happens next. Now, finally, the last post is pretty ominous, but talking about California, we talked about it in the last post, and I think that's where this is. This looks like somewhere in Southern California, one of these giant palm trees that they have down there, very specific to that area. Is somebody in California right now doing work, or one of the Qs there getting ahead of something that was about to happen? I've heard reports that there was a young troubled man who was arrested, thankfully, with plans to allegedly go on some kind of killing spree against high-ranking people of Jewish descent who have popularity and power in Hollywood. That's actually a report off of Drudge, and if you guys want to go check that out, you can see it for yourself. I'll pull it up right now. Yeah, so this is on the cover page of Drudge, and it happened last night, where this man was picked up. He had just writings and some crazy stuff going on, where he was talking about having a kill list for people of the Jewish religion, which is sick and awful. And it's just people like this who make us really realize where evil exists in the world, and it's all around us. We are always in a fight against it. So that's kind of where my mind first went, but there's a lot more going on in California. You have Governor Jerry Brown refusing to follow the orders of the President of the United States and issuing National Guardsmen, and then when he does follow the orders, he does a basic dereliction of his duty against the government. Now, here we're going to go through some of the Trump posts, getting into that. You guys let me know what you think about this picture. What is it related to? Where is it pointing us? And what do we need to take away from that? I'd really love to hear your thoughts, but we'll jump right in where you have just Trump going off on a real tangent here, explaining, for instance, James Comey just threw Andrew McCabe under the bus. Inspector General report on McCabe is a disaster for both of them, getting a lot of their own medicine, yes. And it just continues to go on. But this is another one that reminded me of what we were talking about with California, where it says sanctuary cities released at least 142 gang members across the United States, making it easy for them to commit all forms of violent crimes where none would have existed. We are doing a great job of law enforcement, but things such as this make safety in America difficult. Okay. So going forward, he has a lot here talking about how you have Comey memos that come out and show there was no collusion and no obstruction, and that he leaked classified information. So is he going to go to jail? Hopefully. Here's another one. General Flynn. I mean, this is really pointing toward President Trump giving Flynn a pardon. When you hear General Flynn, Flynn's life can be totally destroyed while shady James Comey can leak and lie and make lots of money from the third-rate book that should never have been written. Is it really that way? Is that really the way of life in America? Or is that really the way life in America is supposed to work? I don't think so. I don't think so either. I completely agree with the president. Then it goes into what we talked about on the Q board last night, which I thought was very interesting, where it says Nancy Pelosi is going absolutely crazy about the big tax cuts given to the American people by the Republicans. Got not one Democrat vote. Here's a choice. They want to end them and raise your taxes substantially. Republicans are working on making them permanent and more cuts. And obviously you have people here already putting out that the Wiener laptop has enough evidence to put Hillary away for life. You know, just good stuff that you want to get out there if it's the truth and it needs more investigating. But that talks directly back to what Q was referring to with Pelosi here. We went over this in the last video. If you want a more in-depth look at it, where she makes this big error. She talks about how she was visiting North Korea. And then they talk about her net wealth here on the Q board. And it's a direct implication that she made money brokering deals between North Korean and other states, enemy actor states probably, of the United States, and facilitating weapons deals, allegedly. So this is the kind of stuff that we're getting into on a daily basis here, and it's just really, truly fascinating that Q and Trump are on the same page here. Now, we have a new tweet, too, here about OPEC. Now, this one's for everybody who's been seeing the stories go on the news talking about how oil prices are hitting an all-time high again. But it says, looks like OPEC is at it again with record amounts of oil all over the place, including the fully loaded ships at sea. Oil prices are artificially very high, no good, and will not be accepted. Trump, that is a big deal. We cannot be responsible for allowing ourselves to be hosed by those OPEC countries who want to steal all of our money by artificially raising the price of oil. Now, the next one that Trump just posted, it says, can you believe that despite 93% bad stories from the fake news media should be getting good stories, today we had just about our highest poll numbers, including those on Election Day. The American public is wise to the phony and dishonest press. Make America great again. Yes, I couldn't agree more. This looks like another way that Trump is winning, in my opinion. And we're going to get into somebody else here who has some very good insights about this, talking about Mueller and Comey. And this is Corsi pointing out, so Rudy Giuliani, hey, Bob Mueller, here's the deal. We'll forget about criminal prosecutorial misconduct, McCabe and Strzok altering General Flynn's 302 interrogation report to create lying, Gestapo treatment of Malak and Michael Cohen, Ted Malak and Michael Cohen. Ted Malak was picked up at an airport and kept under FBI interrogation for quite some time. And Michael Cohen, obviously, the president's attorney who was raided by the FBI, and they stole all of his attorney-client privilege information. But then it talks about, but your $18 million net worth. And a lot of people are suggesting that it's alleged that Robert Mueller received kickbacks from Hillary Clinton through the Uranium One deal to the sum around $18 million, which how do you make an $18 million net worth off of a government salary? I'm not sure how many people could justify that. So this was, and then here's a great meme about it saying, first meeting, hi Rudy, I got everything from Wiener's laptop, Bob, and that was the end of the Mueller probe. Exactly. But they're talking about him getting kickbacks for that. And then here's little Comey. And of course he says, just love at little Jimmy Comey secret squirrel memos to himself on meetings with POTUS. We would just love to see the diaries have to really be special. Crying, feelings, self-justification, finger-pointing, innuendos. Pulitzer Prize, good. Please write more. From prison, don't stop. And then they talk about how Comey has actually got an $11 million net worth, and he was working for HSBC Bank, which is the Bank of China, before becoming the FBI director, and he was on the board there. And he's actually been responsible for being a Clinton fixer for a long time. So none of this is new. There's nothing new under the sun. We're kind of going through all of these things, but it's certainly something to be kept up with. And another thing that we're going to cover very quickly, talking about Q-posts that we've gone over before in regard to other things. We actually have this. This is the sick stuff that they go into, but this is talking about the cult. Now, it says Smallville actress Allison Mack arrested for role in alleged sex cult, and the sex cult is called the NXIVM. And if you think that sounds familiar, it should, because we heard about this on March 28th from Q when he was talking about this post right here, which we'll read through very quickly. First, it gives a Fox News article talking about the Inspector General report that was going to talk about McCabe that's already come out now. And it says, think outside of the box, timing of release, post Facebook news, Facebook worldwide, Google worldwide, Amazon worldwide, Twitter worldwide, tracking active, listening active, data share, data use for what, kickbacks, big time, public or private public, bypass regulations laws, intelligence agencies across the globe in partnership to spy on citizens, the Five Eyes spying on their own citizens so they can subvert their own surveillance laws. Constitutional crisis, magnitude, who can you trust, who organized, how do social media search engine platforms weight elections, regulation or kill stop, peace through strength, at Snowden, shine the light bright, dead on arrival, why is Hussein traveling the world conducting high-level meetings, use logic. And then it talks right here, it gives this example of the NXIVM cult leader who is involved in this, Nancy Salzman, and her historical timeline. Mainstream media will not highlight bottom to top unravel. But I mean, you can see here in the article that I just pulled up, this woman is a famous actor who was right under this top director of the whole cult. And his name is Rainier. He's being indicted, and she was one of his co-conspirators in this. She was not named in the original indictment, but now she's been picked up, and she was apparently a slave to the guy running it, but then she had slaves too. And these are all related to Marina Ambrovich, spirit cooking, Satanism, Luciferianism, the occult that has taken over, the occult that all the globalists worship, and probably directly tied to what's going on with the Hillary Clinton alleged video that exists, I think, with Abedin that the NYPD saw, which is why Rudy Giuliani being brought on is a very big deal, talking about what's on Anthony Weiner's laptop. So that's going to be pretty much it. And another thing, I really, really enjoy all of your memes. Keep memeing, keep tweeting me memes. I love retweeting. You have a very 90+% chance that if you tweet a meme to me, I will retweet it. Usually the ones I don't retweet are the ones I've already retweeted, or ones that are just not really related. But you can find me at Justin_formed. Again, our latest big meme push is to get the all the memes from talking about Comey and talking about Nancy Pelosi and her slip up of saying how she was in North Korea brokering deals for weapons, apparently, missiles. But yeah, come find me at Just_formed on Twitter. But that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. You guys are truly what make this whole channel possible. If you're looking for a way to contribute to the channel, the easiest way you can do that is to come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as this information gets posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, the second best way you can contribute is to please come here and check out the comment section, because as I say, we have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos, and go down there, leave your thoughts, insights, your theories. If you think I missed something, if you think I'm wrong, you think I'm right, please go down and tell me what you think. That way we can continue this conversation together. So I really appreciate you guys coming and doing that. And even if you can't comment, just go down and read through the comments, because I guarantee you're going to learn something you did not know before starting this channel video that you are watching. So that's the easiest way. Now, if you're looking for another way to help me out, I need all the help I can get. You can come over here and find me at patreon.com. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. You'll come here to this landing page, click this button to become a patron. Please contribute. I need it to keep this channel running. I can say thank you so much to those who come and make a contribution. It helps me out big time. You can come check out my rewards. You can come check out my goal, and you can earn a few different rewards basically by contributing at different levels. You can have a chance for an email correspondence with me directly, and you can also have a chance to become a featured Patreon patron, and you can actually have a chance to get this official limited edition Just Informed Talk is Trump QAnon t-shirt. So just come here and check that out. I really appreciate all of your help, and I appreciate you in advance coming here and looking at this and contributing to keep the channel going, because they've retroactively started demonetizing some of my videos, and it's just, I need all the help I can get to keep this channel alive. So please come here and contribute if you can. Thank you so much in advance for that. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about here is the most important thing, as always. We're going to take a minute here to just talk about God. And why is God so important? Well, you see the evil. You see the sex cults where they have these actresses, the people on TV who are showing our kids what being role models. They're actively being role models on TV, and then they're involved in this behind closed doors. And it's evil, and it's all connected to Satan, and it's connected to Luciferianism, and the opposite of what we are supposed to do as Christians, which is love God and spread His word and work every day to fight evil and point out injustice and fight it however we can in our own way every single day. But in order to do that, we need the strength of the Lord in our hearts. And how do we get God into our heart? Well, for those of you who have been having doubts, for those of you who have been feeling uncertain about the Lord and if He could even let these terrible things happen, trust in one thing, that regardless of whether you trust in the Lord trusts in you. And he is merely waiting for you to open your heart to him in order to come and fill you with the Holy Spirit and the light of God, so that you can become a beacon unto the world and shine his light bright for everyone to see. And when you bring him into your heart in that way, you become a beacon for your family, your friends, your loved ones, everyone around you who may need God in their life too, and they need you to become that conduit for them. So remember, the onus is always on us. You can't expect someone else to do it for you. Become that light that God wants us to be, so that we together can shine onto the world and make the world a better place and put light where there was once darkness. And only through prayer and only through strict devotion to the Lord can we hope to achieve that. So please remember, if you don't take anything else away from this video, just take this away: that the Lord is strong and he is in your heart, and he is waiting for you to open up your heart to him even more, so that you can receive all of his many blessings that are waiting for you, because the Lord is a part of all of us, and he's just waiting for you to enact him in your life. So that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Please let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, if you have not clicked the subscribe button, please come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you can get notified when these videos get posted. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. But that's going to be it. This has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed. And God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.